What's up, everybody? So I wanted to make a sort of quick video. Probably won't be quick, but I'll try my best here. Just showcasing the artwork that I have completed since I started this YouTube channel at the tail end of 2024. I think I started it on Christmas of 2024, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, so this isn't really a sketchbook tour in the traditional sense that I see on YouTube. This is actually more of pieces that I've completed, or mostly completed, on Bristol. You know, that's just pretty much the format that I draw on. I do have sketchbooks that I like to doodle and practice on and such, but I don't know. That's just more personable to me, and it just is kind of my thing that I want to hold close to the chest. But I don't mind sharing these completed pieces that I've done since starting the channel. And, you know, this can range from anything on 9x12, 11x14, 14x17, and so on and so forth. Most of which are posted on my Instagram channel, so go ahead and take a look at that. I have links in the description of my Instagram channel or my About Me section, or I'm pretty sure I've posted a good, healthy amount of these completed pieces on my YouTube Shorts. So if you are unfamiliar, definitely take a look at my YouTube Shorts. And like and subscribe, do all those cool things. So let's get right to it. Let's take a look. Okay, so I am gonna try my best to keep this really short. It is a good amount of stuff that I have here. I might just kind of quickly say what I like and don't like, and then move on to the next one. So bear with me. So first up, we have my Goku Spirit Bomb piece. This is on 9x12. I really like how this turned out, as you can see. Since starting this channel, I've leaned heavily onto a lot of heavy inks and or grays and blacks and grays and whites, of course. That's just the style that resonates or speaks to me, I should say. A lot of manga influence, of course, and then, you know, a lot of the current comic book artists that are kind of going or leaning into this sort of trait or style with the heavy blacks, grays, or the screen tones and whatnot. Anyway, I really like how this turned out. The only thing that I will say is the way the pants are done. I can kind of see how over the years when I take a look, I'm just like, man, I wish I did these pants a little bit different. But yeah, this is the first one, and we'll go to the next. Okay, so we got two here. So starting on the left, I did this like Last of Us clicker zombie. This was really quick. I really do like how it turned out. Now, something about me that I know I do need to work on is I don't draw a lot of female figures. I kind of have the gist of it, but I know that that is something that I need to work on, especially looking back at this, which I did back in April of 2025. So almost a year ago as I'm recording this video. Then on the right hand side, we have a Kamen Rider. I really like how this turned out. This really speaks to like my style in general. My style kind of resonates with the Humberto Ramos, Joe Madureira kind of influences that I grew up with, or that anime manga style, of course, as well. But this definitely, I think, I like. I don't really color much. I'm not a colorist, but I wanted to add color to it just because of the Kamen Rider, you know, saga. A lot of greens, blacks, and reds, of course. But yeah, I really like how this one turned out. But definitely on the left here, I got to work on my female figures, which I've been practicing, of course, over the past couple months to over the last year. So next page. Okay, on the left-hand side, we have Wolverine. I will say I know what I was going for, but I know that I do not like, as I'm looking on my monitor here to kind of get a better look at it, I just don't like this bottom part here. It just doesn't fit. And I think that's one thing that I know I've been kind of more mindful of is whatever type of paper, you know, whether it's 9x12 or 14x17 or 11x14, I'm being more mindful of like how to fit in stuff, and that way they're not cut off. Yeah, so like this stuff I do like. It makes sense to me, at least. And, you know, again, heavy with the blacks, the grays, and so on and so forth, but I just don't like that bottom part. So this on the right hand side is actually a printout copy that I did digitally of a traditional piece. So the traditional piece will be somewhere probably in this video, but I had an 11x17 traditional piece that I did for a indie comic called Marcus, and nothing, you know, from me or anything like that, but It's local to me. It's a publishing company local to where I live. They have a comic book called Marcus, and I kind of wanted to take a stab at drawing like a cover, just because I like what I read in the first 2 issues. And it's got a pretty unique story that has an influence of fact and fiction. But anyway, so I scanned in the 11x17 traditional drawing, cleaned it up in Procreate, like gave it more digital inks, and then I printed it out. And then I colored it with some regular alcohol markers, which I don't think, if I recall, they were like the fine tip, and I'm not a fan of fine tip. Again, I don't really color much. That is something that I know that I want to work on more, but right now I've just been focusing on more of, practicing pencils and inks and all that jazz. But I mean, this turned out good, but the pencil one, I'm pretty proud of that one because I just liked how it turned out. So you'll see that later on. Okay, left-hand side, I drew this with the Odd Contenders, which is a group of artists that I draw with live on Tuesdays and Thursdays on YouTube, so make sure you guys follow them, or us, I should say, the Odd Contenders. I'll have a link in the description or somewhere on this video here. But on the left-hand side, Anjimon, we did like a Digimon day, and I kind of wanted to, just portray the praying Anjimon, or, the godlike sort of creature. I like the concept of it. I know that, again, this was really quick and very sketchy, so I just wanted to do something in the allotted time that we have when we draw together, which is typically about 2 to 3 hours, and I went from pencils, inks to, giving it some color and all that, and yeah, I do like how this turned out, but, I know that I could have improved a little bit, but again, I definitely like how this turned out. But anyway, right hand side, Zelda, or we have Link grabbing a sword. This is straight butt cheeks. I don't know. I think I was going for him like grabbing the sword or something like that, like as he's walking by the Master Sword. But I definitely know that this was more of a practice run of what I wanted. I don't like that left hand. I don't like how the right hand is. Also, his body looks so big compared to, where the sword is, like the placement. It kind of should be a different placement, or so to speak. But yeah, I don't like it at all, and not my best. But again, leaning into that the blacks and grays and all that stuff, which is something I've been just having fun with, and I will continue to do. Next up on this one, so it's a Mr. Robot. If you have not watched the show, I highly suggest watching Mr. Robot. It is probably one of the best TV series I've ever watched, next to like Breaking Bad and all that, but Mr. Robot does not get a lot of credit, and I believe you have to give credit where credit is due. It is a great show. I actually drew this when I finished the final season, and I will say that what I was going for was that sort of, the monitor looking at Elliot and Mr. Robot here. And although I liked what I was trying to portray, the actual room, so if you've watched the show, you kind of know what I'm talking about here. But I just don't like the eyes. It was really hard to kind of, because Rami Malek is an actor, and he's got these big eyes, and I know what I was trying to go for, but I wasn't happy with it. But I mean, this really does look like Christian Slater in the show, and really happy how that turned out. But I just don't like the eyes for Elliot or the actor Rami Malek. But I got everything with the room and the portrayal of the room that he sits in, where the computer is, and the kitchen to the left there. So I tried my best to kind of give that sort of 5-point perspective in a way, like a globe, with a little bit of 1 point. But yeah, I do like how this was. I just don't like the eyes, and maybe the hands I could fix over time. But I know that hands are one of my biggest like Achilles heels, and I know that I've definitely worked hard at trying to fix that the last year. And then on the right hand side, this is from a comic book called Lost Fantasy that just came out, I want to say almost a year ago. So when I first read it, I just kind of wanted to, portray the character sort of using his sword to kind of surf on some water or something like that. Just do something cool with the character and kind of go from there. Again, leaning heavy on the blacks, grays, and whatnot. And, I draw feet a certain way, very Disney-esque and Kingdom Hearts or Humberto Ramos you know, the bigger the feet and the longer the legs, you kind of know where that influence is coming from, whether it's anime or, you know, comic creators that, you know, are from the 90s or early 2000s. But I like it. I like the concept of what I was trying to complete here. And yeah, next page. Alright, so this is Sentry, the Void, and Bob from Thunderbolts. I had a glitch there because I was thinking of it having two names. So if you know, the movie came out last year or last summer in 2025, and I drew this right after seeing the movie. I really enjoyed Thunderbolts, aka New Avengers. I think it was the first movie in quite some time that made me feel good about Marvel comic movies, and not many movies have done that since Spider-Man No Way Home, and especially since after Avengers Endgame. I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels that way, but I really liked it, and I wanted to draw something in relation to it, so you know, I just wanted to have Bob with the toys. If you watch the movie, kind of get a sense of it with the Rubik's Cube, the truck, and all that jazz in one of the fear rooms, or the nightmare rooms, I should say, during the movie. But yeah, and then I drew the Sentry, but again, this part I really do like of the Sentry, just to kind of show that strength and brute force and all that. Now, I know he's not really depicted like that in the movie, but in the comic books he certainly is. I don't like the legs because they're so big, but the way the Void is kind of hovering above Bob, and I wanted to get that concept of him, you know, sort of always at Bob's shoulder, like going to grab him, because that's the more eviler side, or persona, I should say. I do like this a lot. I just don't like the legs for Sentry. On the right-hand side, another Lost Fantasy sort of doodle that I did. I was kind of trying to do like a homage to PlayStation Magazine, which will show my age at this point. Issue number 1 was Final Fantasy VII back in the 97 time frame. Issue number 1 of PlayStation Magazine, or PSM, as some of you folks like myself may know it as. I forget the artist that drew it, but it was kind of like in the same sort of format that Cloud is, his pose is. And I wanted to put the dragons and all that from the comic book, and the weapons that sort of populate, given his glyphs, or runes, I should say. I know what I was trying to go for, but I think just given, again, not having a sense of awareness of the type of paper I'm working on, or I should say the width and the length, I do know what I was trying to go for, but it somewhere down the line it sort of became a mess. Like, if it was just this character, I'm sure it would look good, right? You know, you get a sense of it, and maybe it does better without the dragons, because it just looks like too much, per se. But if I would have kind of put the weapons that sort of show up around him, and he kind of grabs his own weapon, kind of like in Final Fantasy 15 or Versus 13, if you recall, same concept. But yeah, so I really like the comic book Lost Fantasy. If you haven't started to read it, I suggest reading it. It's a pretty cool concept, and I enjoy it. Okay, so if you're watching the stuff on the left-hand side here, don't worry about it. These are really old stuff, back in like 2022, 2023, but I wanted to focus on stuff that I've drawn in the last year and some change. So this is a He-Man piece that I did most recently, about 2 months ago. And again, leaning really heavy into the blacks and grays and the tones and all that jazz. Something I've been really trying to work on. But this He-Man piece, I really like what I did here. I'm a fan of it. I don't know much about He-Man. I wanted to give it sort of that barbarian Conan look as well, because when I think of He-Man, that's what I think of. Oftentimes I may have gotten it confused because I never really watched that stuff growing up. I was more of Ghostbusters and Turtles and Transformers and all that. But yeah, I really do like this in general. I just don't like the way this hand turned out. It's a little funky, especially when I'm looking at it on my monitor here. Definitely, it caught my attention afterwards, but I think this is a really cool piece that I whipped up. And I think we did this with the Odd Contenders when we got together on our Tuesday, Thursday show. A lot of these are going to be from there, but other pieces are also just going to be on my own turf. But again, the stuff on the left, don't worry about it. This is just a Guts watercolor that I did probably 2 years ago at this point. So let's see what else is here. Okay, cool. So this is a mess. I will say this is totally a mess here. You probably can't tell what's going on. I might have to take it out. let me see if I take it out, if it's going to make a difference here. So what it is it's snowing, if you can't tell, but I have here Mr. Freeze, and they're in Gotham Park. It's sort of like a one-point perspective. This was really quick that I did it. And then we have Batman kind of dodging the Mr. Freeze ice blast with his gun sort of situation, and he's using his batarang, or not batarang, his grapple gun. I can't speak today. His bat grapple gun to connect to a tree far off. So I liked how it turned out. I know what I was trying to go for. I just I'm aware that it looks like a hot mess. Like, there's a lot going on here and there's a lot to look at, so my eye doesn't really know what to look at. You really have to kind of focus in on that to get a sense of what's going on. So yeah, give me a moment. Just want to put this back in. Oh my gosh, is it gonna go back in? Okay. Alright, so next up is my Berserk piece. So I drew this, all pencils, on 14 by 17, which I'll more than likely show later on today. But what I did was I printed out blue line on cardstock so I can practice my inks on a dip pen. Something I've recently got into is more dip pens and getting accustomed to that, using, you know, of course, traditional ink rather than ink in pens or brush pens, so to speak. But I wanted to just practice using, you know, ink nib pens, I should say, ink with the nibs and all that, and try to see what I could do here. The Berserk piece is really big. I'm really proud of that one, especially the composition that I did here, just depicting, you know, Guts and Femto and the Skull Knight and the Band of the Falcon, the God Hand, and the Eclipse, and just pretty much everything that happens in that first couple issues or arcs of Berserk, which I know probably a lot of you, if you do know the story, yes, it's pretty gruesome. I was going to say the word wholesome, but it's really not wholesome. I mean, maybe it is wholesome a little bit, you know, but yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out ink-wise. I will show the pencils, but again, this was a practice run on cardstock that I printed out, and you know, just wanted to give it a shot. All right, next up is one of the Odd Contenders pieces. This is Darth Vader versus the Hulk. I thought it would be really cool to show the, can kind of get a sense of it, like the height differences, height, weight, or body composition of the two, but one is really ultimately powerful. So I wanted to show Darth Vader being really tiny but having his lightsaber out, and him kind of having his hand out, and, you know, using that telekinetic, you know, or the Force, I should say, using the Force to sort of keep Hulk in his grasp, you know, where he can't move and he's just kind of roaring at him, or, you know, yelling at him. And we've got, you know, with TIE fighters, starfighters, and all that jazz. And yeah, I like how that turned out. Again, this was an Odd Contenders piece, so drawing this, coloring it, pencil to color, ink to color, within 2 to 3 hours. But I had fun with this one. I really liked the concept of it, and of course showing the size differences between the two. I really wanted to depict that because, you know, just because it's a little guy doesn't mean that they're weak. So yeah, definitely like that. This on here, this is my Spawn piece that I most recently did. I think I might have it. Do I have it twice? I might. Yeah, I do. Well, this I have been using. I've been using some tutorials online to kind of help guide me and understand coloring digitally, which I'm having fun with, toying around with digital colors and effects in Procreate or Clip Studio or Clip Art Paint or whatever you want to call it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Again, I am not a colorist. If it looks off, please critique me 100%. But I'm definitely kind of getting used to it. Not great at it yet. I want to get there. Definitely want to also get there with traditional colors down the road for both, but I think digital colors, I'm having more of a better time with it because there's a lot of techniques involved. You can erase things and kind of go back, and it does take a lot more time than just coloring on a piece of paper. But I would definitely say I had fun with this and what I wanted to achieve with it. I will show the other, so this is a digital printout in my 9x12 portfolio, but I will show the pencil and ink version of it as well. I think that is in the one behind here. All right, that's it for the 9x12s. Now on to the 11x14. All right, so let's see, let's make sure we're not gonna get lost here. All right, so this is my World of Warcraft characters. So I wanted to draw my World of Warcraft characters. I am a casual player at World of Warcraft. I have been for years. I'll dabble with it, and by casual, I dabble in World of Warcraft. I used to be pretty serious with it with my friends, probably close to 20 years ago, but I will say I've been more of a casual player just because it's just a relaxing game to kind of pick up and play when I'm waking up or having a cup of coffee or something like that. But so my Death Knight in the background, my Rogue using one of the skills, so the Rogue is really over here, but using Shadow Step is what I wanted to depict. My Druid, and as well as my Warlock. So the armor and the weapons that they have is essentially the armor and weapons that they have in the game at the time that I drew this, which was February of 2025. I know that has since changed on 2 of my characters, but at the time I wanted to just reflect what my characters look like at the time that I drew this. All right, on the left-hand side here, we have Solid Snake looking over down a hall, I should say, over his shoulder. You can kind of see the soldier running towards him. You can kind of see or get a sense of the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 era of Metal Gear Solid with the doors and the lights and all that jazz. And we have Solid Snake smoking. So every Christmas, winter time or something like that, I have drawn a Metal Gear Solid piece pretty much every year for the last 3 years. This year I did not, but I do have a thumbnail somewhere. I won't show it, but I do have a thumbnail somewhere, and that's something that I'm currently working on. It's just been me trying to kind of get there and pull the trigger for that, but I will say it has been something that I've been working on the past couple months with that thumbnail. So this is the last one that I did, which was when I started this channel, and I believe it's actually one of the pieces that I showed first when I started this channel around then. But I like it. The feedback, I actually got some feedback from an artist at a convention. He really liked it too, just kind of calling out some things anatomy wise and all that stuff, which of course he knew that I knew that as well, but you know, he kind of also knows where, you know, my inspirations come from. So he was appreciative to see that on paper and knowing where I'm referencing from and all that. But he really likes the layout, he likes the depiction of it and the concept, and so do I. But looking back at it, I know that there are some things that I have improved on since then. But back then, of course, like the shoulder differences and the way he's like leaning. But otherwise, I like it. Next up is Spawn here. So I looked up reference for this for I want to say it was wizards. So I was looking at poses of certain types of wizards in illustration or things like that. And I saw this neat pose of like a wizard, which kind of didn't seem, I want to say, I think the wizard, it was just like I don't want to say a stick figure, but it was just like a blank anatomy with like a cape and all that jazz. But I want to say the wizard was holding the staff. I can't recall, but I know that when I saw this pose, I was like, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a wizard sort of pose like that. But I thought, you know what, let's do that with Spawn. Just because I really liked it. It was interesting and made me curious. And I went with it. And I do like it, but looking back at this, I had to work on the cape because Spawn's cape is essentially a separate character that's just on Spawn. But I will say that it's definitely one of my favorite characters to draw, as Spawn is one of my favorite comic book characters ever. Alright, so next up we have Battlechasers. So this again was a Odd Contenders drawing that we did together, and I'm surprised it wasn't Halloween time. So we did this in June of 2025. So we were supposed to take, I think the challenge was that we're supposed to take 2 characters and make them into werewolves or vampires or something of the sort. So what I did, and it could be any character. So what I ended up doing ultimately is taking 2 characters from Battlechasers and making them into a werewolf or lichen. And for this one, I just kind of made it look like a vampire, but just kind of throwing in the bats and giving him more evil, angry-looking eyes and all that. But and then putting like little pumpkins on his feet, like a little Nike sign, but it's pumpkins down there on the bottom. Again, Odd Contenders, we draw these things pretty quick, 2 to 3 hours. I had fun with this. I've never, being a fan of Joe Mad, I've never actually drawn any sort of Battlechasers characters over the years, which is something I want to try again later on. I have a couple thumbnails I've did, but maybe one day. But yeah, I do like how this turned out. And then next up is Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. So this one in particular, I actually finished the Disney Plus show, and I really, really liked it. I liked the animation. I liked the story. It didn't feel overloaded. It didn't feel underloaded. It just felt the right kind of Peter Parker Spider-Man story that I wanted to watch. And I really liked the suit too. I'm a big fan of the Peter Parker high school before Spider-Man, the official suit, of course. I really like the concepts of it. They're always so interesting to see over the years in film and TV and animation. But this one in particular, I really liked, and I wanted to depict that. So a couple things here. One, I don't like the feet. I was trying my hardest to kind of have him put the feet connected to the wall. Like, as you can see, he's obviously connected to the wall. We have some windows to the side, the brick wall behind him. He's somewhere in Queens, of course. But, I pretty much nailed it. I mean, I felt I nailed it with that specific suit for that show. I think somewhere I have digitally what I was trying to aim for was a spotlight. So if there's an X-Men cover, Days of Future Past, from like the early 90s or maybe even the 80s, I forget when. But in that one, we have a spotlight on Wolverine and I think Kitty Pryde. Maybe I'll show it here on this video, but kind of wanted to do that as well. So there is a digital version that I did, and I think I posted it on Instagram, where I added in the actual spotlight and made sure I gave it some more effect and coloration, so that way it felt like Spider-Man was connected to the wall and there was a helicopter spotlight or a spotlight on him. So, but I like this. Again, not a colorist, tried my best, and I think it works for sure. Alright, next up we have Robocop. I do like this. Robocop's a great movie. It shows my age, but Robocop 1 from the 80s, mind you. But towards the end of that film, Robocop fighting the big bad final boss, I should say, of the film. Not necessarily the old guy who is controlling it, but I just had watched Robocop, really wanted to draw something from it, and I went for it. I do like how this turned out, especially because it was challenging because robots are hard, man. Robots are really, really hard to draw and understand and try to get that anatomy correct, especially if it's not like a human form like Robocop is. This one was kind of tough in getting the angles and all that. I know looking at it right now on my monitor, it makes sense, but I think somewhere on these legs I lost myself in translation here, but just kind of depicting this scene towards the end of the movie, I felt like I nailed it, and definitely took a lot of time and effort to do this and layer the foreground, middle ground, background for this. But yeah, had fun with it. I don't like this one at all. I don't like it at all. I just don't like it. This is a Doctor Doom, Iron Man sort of amalgamation, holding the Infinity Gauntlet. I don't know what I was trying to do here. There's people who have looked at this and said they really like it. I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. Doctor Doom is such a cool character, and I definitely, I don't know, it's just the hand throws me off, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it. I don't, personally, I don't like it, but there's people that I know that have seen this in my portfolio, and they're like, yo, that's really cool. I like it. And I'm just like, all right, Guts. Swinging a sword, his big sword. Again, heavy on the inks. Maybe some gray tones. I don't think there is. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but I like it. It's very Akira Toriyama-esque, Dragon Ball Z-esque for sure. With a mix of Joe Mad, I can kind of see. That's, again, more of my style, and I can definitely tell it in the next one here on the right. So on the right, again, this is an Odd Contenders piece, so we kind of like mash up characters and have them fight or be on the same picture. So this is Superman versus the Hulk. My Superman, I kind of went for a combination of like a younger, skinnier, leaner Superman with a mix of, if you saw the recent movie The Flash with Supergirl, I really liked her look overall, her hair, her thinness or the leanness of it, but having that strength. So I kind of wanted to do that. I wanted to lean into that a little bit more with this, kind of giving it that future Trunks look from Dragon Ball, and just kind of kicking ass and just depicting that punch to the Hulk, because that's pretty brutal. I will say, looking back at this, it looks good, but now I know it, like, this pose for Superman and that punch is good. But I just think this, I probably could have worked on a little bit better, because it just looks a little stiff. Maybe this hand could have been, like, you know, this makes sense, but maybe this hand could have been somewhere, or more foreshortening, put the fist up here or something like that. But just to make it sort of kind of look a little less stiff, and maybe have the hands or fingers be more outward, because when you get punched, it kind of should be more like this, rather than one's in like a fist and the other one isn't. Because when you get hit hard, if you have never been punched or hit, your hands just kind of like, they don't lock, they just flail out. So I had fun with this. I like this, but definitely need to make things a little less stiff. All right, next up is Darth Vader versus Isaac Clarke from Dead Space. So this was actually the first, I want to say it was the first, I think it was the first. It was the first Odd Contenders piece that I did when I started to draw with them. I actually started to draw with them, it says it was finished in April of 2025, but I think I finished coloring it in April of 2025. But I started drawing with them sometime in like February of 2025. So it's been well over a year now that I've been a part of the channel and just drawing with them every Tuesday and Thursday. I really like how this turned out. Again, we don't have to really, you know, I want to say it doesn't have to be a significant, you know, I should say pose or action scene or anything like that. Just kind of have fun with it, but just kind of combine two different varying characters and kind of go from there. But I really do like how I did this. Armor, just like robots, is not really easy to do. And I kind of wanted to take a swing at Isaac's engineer suit in my own sort of style, and, you know, just kind of capture the colors and stuff of the suit. Darth Vader is Darth Vader. I will always draw Darth Vader how I draw Darth Vader since I was little. So, but again, I think I nailed it with both colors of the aspects of each character, and had fun with this. So it was nice to do this as like my first drawing joining the Odd Contenders. All right, so next up is actually one of the Odd Contenders started his own comic book like story, and he started a Kickstarter for it. It's called Marshmallow Robots, and one day on the Odd Contenders, we just decided to draw some of the characters from Marshmallow Robots. So I don't know the character's name, so forgive me if you're watching, but I wanted to draw one of the characters, a female character. Again, something I've been working on slash doodling or practicing on, so isn't really my thing, but I still need to know to do it, and I think this is where I started to get better at it with the sort of the bean shape of the body. So I have her holding these like futuristic guns that I just kind of designed on a whim. Had a little marshmallow guy on her shoulder. I wanted to go for a very Aeon Flux because that's sort of the vibe that I got when I started to see the drawings of the character before he released the comic book. I have it somewhere, but and then I wanted to do like the robot that's a part of the crew in the background, sort of like Bane from The Dark Knight, like looking over the shoulder, or The Dark Knight Rises. Bane kind of looking over the shoulder and, you know, just kind of being there as like a brute force sort of backup, so to speak. So I just wanted that back to the viewer, so you kind of get a sense that this character, these are obviously the main characters, but this one is that sort of backup or that brute force in the background. Alright, so next up is the Mandalorian. We actually interviewed one of the Mandalorians on the Odd Contenders, and he was on, I want to say, a couple of the episodes of the show. I know he was on the show. We interviewed him. It was really nice to interview him, and we were drawing just Mandalorian characters during the Odd Contender show that we have on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So definitely had a lot of fun with this. I like the pose. I was going for, you know, Piccolo aura farming, wow, that's so hard to say. Aura farming, arms crossed, just kind of chilling there in the wind or the breeze. And yeah, I definitely like how this turned out, and it really does speak my style. Yeah. Next up is Titus from Final Fantasy X. So I actually drew something similar in 2001 when I was in detention. So I think I posted it on my YouTube channel or my Instagram, where it's my old picture of Titus that I drew back in 2001, and doing the same or similar pose, and just kind of wanted to throw in the Blitzball and sort of him giving the finger, just kind of saying F you to the crowd, giving that attitude. I wanted to show more detail in Titus's clothing and all that stuff than compared to when I drew it back in 2001. I will say my attempt at it was, my execution was there, but I don't like the hand. I don't like this. I don't like these two just don't do well. I do like the fact that I was really trying to depict Titus's overall character design or clothing, and the Blitzball, of course, but otherwise probably need to lean a little bit less on the Dragon Ball, but it's pretty much the style I was going for, one-to-one from a picture I drew similarly to this back in 2001. Definitely needed some improvements on this, but I'm glad I drew it because it was a challenge, but I think I was overthinking some things here and got lost in the sauce. This was a quick one I did for a comic book called Crimson by Humberto Ramos. You probably can't see it, but there are a lot of erase marks here. I was just having a lot of difficulty trying to get like a pose or figure out what I wanted to do. And I will say I don't like it at all. I like it, I don't like it, I like it, I don't like it. That's pretty much it. So we'll leave it at that. Alright, next up is a Monster Hunter character. One day on Odd Contenders, we decided to draw some characters from a video game. I think maybe that video game was specifically the Monster Hunter series. I've played Monster Hunter. It's pretty good. I would say actually the first Monster Hunter game I ever played was Monster Hunter Worlds a couple years back when it released. I haven't played any since then, but it was really fun, and I was like, yeah, let's go for Monster Hunter, and you know, grab some reference for the armor, the big blade gun sort of thing, just sort of having him screaming to try to like get that gun blade out of the ground and fight the big monster that he's kind of looking at. You know, that's super big. You obviously can't see it, you know, as the viewer, but definitely I like this one. Yeah. Another odd contender piece. So this one actually was probably, I think, the second drawing I ever did with the guys on the Odd Contender channel. This one was specifically taking characters and sort of giving them a younger appearance or chibi appearance, or depicting them between the ages of like maybe 2 years old to like 12 years old. I forget, honestly. But I know it was sort of to depict the characters being younger than their actual selves that we are accustomed to. So what I wanted to do was Dante from Devil May Cry. Great video game series. Definitely one of my favorites from Capcom. And I wanted to depict Dante with his oversized trench coat because he is a toddler at this sort of height, weight sort of thing of what I was trying to go for. Obviously, he's sort of in this like toddler rocking chair, and he's too little to, you know, pick up his sword. And as you can see, his devil trigger sort of is kind of behind him and also trying to reach for the sword as well. I like it. Cool concept. Had fun with it. And again, coloring. I know I say I don't color much, or I'm not a colorist, but looking back, I'm like, oh wow, I actually did color a lot more than I thought. But as I've been getting more into 2025 and into this year, I definitely started to scale it back a bit with color. So next up is, as you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Definitely in my style, having the four brothers here: Leo, Donatello, Michelangelo, Raphael. And this one I had fun with. I wanted to sort of go with the skateboarder vibe of Michelangelo holding a skateboard, having those armbands that skaters used to wear like myself. I didn't skateboard. I hung out with a lot of skateboarders. I actually rollerblade or trick rollerblade. A lot of bikers and skateboarders and rollerbladers like myself in the early 2000s, when we were teenagers, we all had these like sweatbands or armbands that we would wear. It was just kind of part of the style. So I wanted to throw that on, give Mikey some baggy khaki like pants here, just to kind of give him that cool skater vibe, to kind of go along with like how he communicates and speaks and all that jazz. Then we got Donatello here. I really like the design of Donatello from the Michael Bay produced movies. It really kind of depicts Donatello as a nerd wearing like the goggles, and I gave him the Nintendo video game controller glove. I forget what it's called, but wanted to give him that and make him look like he's thinking, because of course he's always thinking. He's a logical person. He's smart, very nerdy. Leonardo, ready to just swing the sword. He is the leader. And of course we have Raphael in the background, who is my favorite, my personal favorite turtle. I wanted to make him a little bit bigger, give him some armor, give him that sort of football-like appearance, you know, wearing, you know, football pads and all that jazz. My brothers played football. I did not, but I took some reference of, you know, football pads or things like that that you wear under your jersey, and threw that on Raphael, and also gave him like sort of this samurai-looking pants below. So wanted to give him that sort of strength look to him, versus, you know, what Leonardo is sort of this, you know, skilled warrior, thinner, leaner, so on and so forth. But I definitely had fun with this. I definitely, looking back, I need to get, like, I like to throw crap in my pictures really quick, and I could tell where I sort of, now that I'm looking back at stuff, I can kind of tell where I am starting to lose sight of things, and it looks a little bit messy, like this manhole here. It's not very great, but yeah, I had fun with it either way. I like it. That's old. That's old. Old. This is all old stuff. Old. Metal Gear. As I said, I typically draw a Metal Gear picture around every holiday. Alright, cool. Next up we have Chainsaw Man. I drew this before my first convention, where I had a artist alley table. The voice actor was supposed to be there. The lead voice actor of Chainsaw Man, the US English version. He was supposed to be at the comic convention that I was going to be at, so I thought, let me lean into that, maybe make some prints of this, or maybe someone would like to buy the original, who knows. But yeah, I really went with this. The stuff in Japanese does say things specifically in Japanese. I wanted to make that a point. And Chainsaw Man and Pochita. I mean, what more? I really like how this turned out. Again, have to work on my legs and my feet, but it's still kind of part of my style and things that influenced me over the years. Next up is Akira, great anime, one of my favorites. Wanted to go for this Tetsuo versus Kanata vibe, 1 point perspective in the stadium, which is towards the end of the movie. We see his arm start to transform, so I also wanted to depict the vials in the background here and the chair that he sits on, or the throne. You can't really see it, but it's really tiny. But I think I nailed this. I try to put in as much as I can and be careful about it. Again, the throne and the vials from Akira, Tetsuo versus Kanata, and in the stadium at the end of the movie. Alright, and then this was another Odd Contenders like mashup. So this one was Mob versus Chainsaw Man. Now the reason why Mob looks so messy is I was actually trying to do a like toothpick ink flick sort of thing, but dumb me had my easel on an angle upright, and when I did that, the ink started to drip downward, so I quickly panicked and I started to just kind of smear it all around. And I would say it's like a happy accident just because of the fact that it's it kind of fits the vibe of Mob, and wanted to go with him versus Chainsaw Man and him sort of using his telekinetic force to stop him in his tracks. But got to be more careful about that kind of stuff, so yeah. This one I actually drew. This is from Tokyo Ghoul. The voice actor was there. As you can see, I got him to sign my art piece here. And yeah, this one came to me when I was at my Artist Alley table. I wanted to draw something on the fly, and I think I just focused on this pretty much the entire weekend, besides like talking to people, selling commissions, or whatever it might have been. But yeah, I just wanted to give this like cool vibe of the main character from Tokyo Ghoul just sitting on a throne that I kind of created on the fly. And as you can see, the little things that come out of him in the anime. It's been a long time since I've watched it, but and then sort of have these like ghouls or something coming out from the ash on the ground, you know, trying to rise up to grab him. But I really liked how my brain was going, and that's one thing I would say is my brain is thinking of more compositions rather than just drawing a face or two or three. Honestly, that type of stuff would get very boring to me, drawing faces all the time. I know artists that do that. If that's your thing, great, but it's not my thing. But I would say I was more cognizant of the fact that I'm being more mindful that I'm trying to come up with something compositionally. Give the character a sense of a story within one picture, rather than just drawing a face or, you know, just one single pose or something like that. But definitely had fun with this. Got the voice actor to sign it. He did not want to sign it, but I insisted, and he actually wanted to take this home with me, but I said no. And only those close to me know why. Know why, because yeah, we won't get into it. But anyway, cool. Spawn. Spawn is the next one. As you know, Spawn is a favorite character of mine, and I love this. I don't like the goblins, but the point isn't the goblins or ghouls or whatever. I wanted to kind of depict Spawn reaching to try to get out of hell, and having these sort of goblins or ghouls or demons sort of like pulling him back. Again, they're all messy, they're all decrepit looking, and whatever the case might be, things that you would see children's books, you know, under your bed, children's books or nightmares and stuff like that. But again, that's not the focus. The focus is on Spawn and just kind of what's going on around him. I thoroughly enjoyed drawing this and coming up with this composition. I give it a thumbs up. I think it's one of my, probably my favorite Spawn drawing that I've ever done, besides the one that I most recently did. The Crow. Crow is a great movie. Need I say more? Rest in peace, Brandon Lee. And I had recently watched it, and I wanted to showcase Eric Draven. You know, that one scene in the movie where he jumps out of the window and he just starts kind of gliding through the city rooftops, and he looked like he had genuine fun with it. So I just wanted to kind of depict that sense of fun, having him smirk a little bit here, and the crows and, you know, flying with him. So I definitely like this one, and my backgrounds are really flat, but, you know, something I know that I need to get a little bit better at is giving it a little bit more perspective, but it gets the point across, and that's what matters, at least. Alright, next up is Stranger Things. One of my favorite TV shows as of the past couple of years here. Sad to say it's no longer with us. Season 5 was okay. I won't say it was great compared to the other seasons, but definitely I wanted to draw something to pay homage to it over the years before the season ended. I did this. I will say I really focused on Vecna, the Demogorgon, the Mind Flayer, and 11, and sort of the concept of the towns and flipping them and whatever, you know, one being right side up, the other one being upside down. And I can tell I sort of got lost in translation with drawing the kids. So I really only drew Steve with the baseball bat, Dustin right next to him, Max, Lucas, Mike, and Will, and they all just look plain Jane. They don't look great, but again, I feel like this is mostly the focus here, whereas the kids are sort of in the background, but I still wanted to give them their own kind of character flair. You know, Will on his bike, Mike reaching out for 11 while he's pushing Will away, because as you know, it's sort of kind of what happened throughout the show. Steve with his sweet hair holding the baseball bat. We got Dustin with his camp hat and camp gear, sort of just sitting Indian style because that's what kids do at camp. So I kind of wanted to depict that. Max with their skateboard, and then Lucas with his slingshot and his camo jacket and bandana. But again, I really think this was the whole focus, and then I kind of just threw them in after because I wanted to give it a little bit more flair. Next up is Halo. I really like this one, coming up with this. I will say that I don't like this bottom. I know that I talk about this probably earlier in the video. I just like to throw crap in just to give it some flair, give it some life, but obviously have it make sense to the composition. I know that this part wasn't part of the composition. As you can see, it's the Halo ring with the space and the sort of moon-ish up there. And, you know, giving the trees and the sense of the Halo ring. The Forerunner, one of the areas you go to throughout the game, or plenty of areas you go to throughout the game that are similar to this nature of the building concept. We also have Master Chief just shooting the heck out of a soldier who turned into one of the Flood, and then we have the Grave Mind coming out, and I just wanted to throw in there the Arbiter, because I just wanted to make him just so unique and cool to kind of go after the Grave Mind. Because at first, the concept of this was just Master Chief. I just drew Master Chief and this soldier, you know, being shredded to bits, who turned into the Flood. And it really just kind of went from there, and I just kept going with it. And I kind of drew like a quick thumbnail, because that's not what I wanted to do at first. And I really like how this turned out. So this is definitely one of my favorites that I've drawn, and I'm a huge Halo fan. I just don't like the concept of trying to draw the military camp here. Again, you kind of get the concept. You can kind of see the little warhog here and the base camp with satellite and all that, but it didn't need to be in there. Probably not, but it made sense as part of the composition, because it just kind of gave, you know, the Alienware versus the alien building, Alienware type of technology versus, you know, the human side of things as well. But I definitely also just love how I just drew the Grave Mind. Like it's so cool. So yeah. Another one. This one's also one of my favorites. I have a lot of favorites. This is where my brain started to kind of think and wonder, draw some thumbnails, and come up with different compositions or, you know, just layouts. And this one kind of came to me on the fly. Assassin's Creed. We have one of the characters praying in a church. We have a lot of candles lit throughout the windows because, of course, that's what they did back in the day, just to get some light during the nighttime. It's in church, and we have Ezio or Altair. I think it's Ezio. Yep, Ezio, because it's a dual blade. And I really like how I drew this cross to make sure it was like a wooden cross, because you might not be able to see it, but there is some like detail to make it look like woodwork, or that it was cut from wood, kind of like those lines inside like a desk, or your desk or wood. But I wanted to go with that, with a soft touch of the grays, just so it made sense, and it just kind of popped out more, so it didn't blend in with the bricks in the background. I really like what I did here. I had a lot of fun with this one. The only thing I don't really like is the character's hands looking up at Ezio. The hands are like, I think the way that it's like he's like this. Hold on, there we go. He's like this rather than like this. And it is what it is. Again, your focus shouldn't really be there, but I know that that's something that I just would say that I don't like about this. And maybe the chairs, I could have done maybe a little bit better with the chairs via the perspective, but again, still gets the point across. So definitely like this one a lot. I'm glad I did it. Turned out pretty good. Next up is Storm. I think this one was a Odd Contenders piece as well. I did this really quick, but I just wanted to throw Storm in a storm. Storm from X-Men in a storm with the lightning bolt. Again, leaning heavy on those grays and blacks and all that jazz. The wind with the tree. We have some homeless folks down here, putting their hands out near the fire. We have a little bit of like a dock here at the bay. Sort of have the city of New York in the background here. And just like a puddle, just because of the pellets of water hitting the puddle. I do like what I was trying to achieve here, but I think Storm just falls a little too flat here. But I wanted to emphasize her hair, which I did really like. I really like that I tried to do that. The only thing that I will say is also emphasizing on the hair, but she's all black. She's got this silhouette look to her, but her cape is white. So it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. I know what I was trying to do, because I feel like maybe her cape should have been also black, but I felt like I was trying to achieve the fact that it's more than just her hair that's like white and big. It's also her cape that sort of stands out because of the way that it's designed and the way that it looks. But yeah, overall I like it. I just think it's just a little too flat for the way that I made her pose. Alright, next up is Harry Potter. Harry Potter and Order of the Phoenix is one of my favorite movies from the Harry Potter series. And I wanted to do Voldemort versus Dumbledore. And you can kind of see Harry here. I'm sure if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about and what scene this is specifically from. But yeah, it's such a cool thing. It's like one of the coolest things that happened throughout the entire, like all the movies are great, don't get me wrong. But there's just something about that movie in general that just has a lot of great things going on, from taking off like where Goblet of Fire left off and going from there, from Cedric Diggory's death to Harry mourning, and then all the things that transpire with Voldemort coming back, and then the final battle, and it was just so good, so good. But I really wanted to kind of capture that Ministry of Magic, of course, in the background, because that's where they're fighting. We've got these pillars with the sort of fire pits and all that stuff to kind of signify where the location is during the movie. I definitely had a lot of fun trying to come up with this and the idea, just to make it very simple, but also it makes sense to the viewer. Definitely had fun with this. I like it. I know that there's things that I probably could improve, like the way that Dumbledore is, but I do like Voldemort in general, because I feel like I achieved that sense of what Voldemort looks like. Like, just looking at my monitor here and it being so small, probably for you as well, but you know that that's Voldemort. And I was told by the comic book artist that I was able to take lessons with, he had said if it works good small, then you know that it's going to work good when it's big. And that, being that small on the monitor, I mean, it's bigger obviously for me here, but being small on the monitor and I could tell, like, no, that's Voldemort, that means that I did a good job at depicting what I wanted to depict for Voldemort. Same thing for the Ministry of Magic as well. It looks good on my monitor here, and it works. So, yeah. This one, totally like. I don't even know what happened. It just kind of came to me, but I was just browsing some stuff on YouTube, and one day, just like a trailer for Ninja Gaiden. I don't want to say a trailer. The intro to Ninja Gaiden on Nintendo came, and I thought, you know what? Like, cutscenes have always been a part of video games long before cutscenes became a thing. Sorry, Hideo Kojima. But, you know, we had cutscenes from Master Blaster or Blaster Master. I forget what you probably know what I'm talking about if you know the game. But Ninja Gaiden as well, like the intro to it. I mean, the whole series had random cutscenes throughout it. But I thought it was such a cool concept, and I just wanted to take a stab at depicting that intro to Ninja Gaiden. And I wanted to make like a short little comic out of it. So we have the two ninjas under the moon. We have them looking at one another, but then the next one is sort of this action scene, you know, such in anime or manga, and then them jumping and then sort of clashing, and that's it. And this is relative to, you know, that cutscene in Nintendo, and I definitely leaned very, very heavy on the blacks and the grays, used a lot of ink and used a lot of whiteout to kind of get the cloud effect and the moon effects, but then just wanted to give the two ninjas their own unique character rather than looking the same as they did in the intro. You know, this one has more of a cleaner mask. This one has more of like a mask like Scorpion to kind of give him that evil look, you know, menacing look. But I definitely like how it went and how it came out. Aha, here it is. Here's my other Spawn piece. As you know, I shared the color version of that Spawn piece. And this is definitely a homage to the 90s Spawn that I grew up with. Greg Capullo, Todd McFarlane, getting the bats in there, the moon, having him sort of fly up in the air with the bats to kind of spread his cape out as well, much like the bat's wings are spread out like that, and give him his little powers, green. Surprised, now looking back, I'm surprised I didn't give his eyes a little bit of glow, but of course I did that digitally. But I like what I did here and what I achieved, and I did this all with a ink nib pen, minus the dark blacks here, or just all this stuff. I did this with a paintbrush for the inks, but everything else is used with the ink nibs. And I was very nervous, but I will say I'm glad the way that I used the ink nibs and I got to learn throughout using a practice sheet of paper, because it really kind of it shines in this sort of drawing, I would say. I'm not quite sure if it would shine for other drawings that I did, but Spawn specifically, especially the 90s Spawn, if you've read it in the 90s with Greg Capullo, there's all these like little etch marks and ink marks and stuff, and it just works. So I think that's what I was trying to go with, is the things that inspired me and the things that I have reference for. But I definitely like this, doing this traditionally and then transferring it and giving it some life in color digitally. All right, we have another Berserk piece. So this was for Valentine's this year. This was on the Odd Contenders. Just, you know, mashing up two different characters, whether they're in love or not, or maybe they could be in love. I just went with the most simple thing, the hopeful love, I should say, of Guts and Casca from Berserk. I definitely achieved what I wanted to achieve of them holding one another or embracing one another, sort of putting this heart ring around it to resemble, if you know what happens obviously during the eclipse, I don't need to say any more than that, but give it sort of that feeling that they're, you know, in love with the heart and all that jazz, but also signify, you know, what happens during the eclipse with the blacks and the reds and the whites and the darkness and all that. But I do like the way that I was trying to portray Casca, giving her angry eyebrows, or not angry, but more concerning, but still looking off in the distance, a little pissed off, because obviously she has every reason to be. And I definitely like what I achieved for Guts here. But there's some parts of Casca that I don't think worked well, like the body type, because I felt it was a little bit difficult to kind of put a female figure under armor. So, because it's without making it look like a man, and that's where I was like having a little bit of hard time, and especially with the pose that I was going with, to have them both like hugging each other or embracing one another. But overall, I like it. And again, this was part of the Odd Contenders, so only had a couple hours to draw it. But yeah, definitely, I think it turned out pretty good for what I was trying to do for Valentine's. This one's so cool. I do like Star Wars, the first couple movies, not the sequel movies, but I wanted to draw a Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader after I drew that Hulk piece that I showed earlier, Darth Vader versus Hulk, and it kind of gave me this idea for Darth Vader taking a swing at Luke, but Luke is like, you know, so innocent, so concerned about his dad, that I kind of wanted to make him less action ready, if that makes sense. And one thing I will say that I failed at was the fog. So I wanted to put this like fog because Luke comes out of the fog and he's battling Darth Vader in one of the movies. For some reason, my brain was thinking that was Return of the Jedi, because obviously this scene is more Return of the Jedi-ish, given the fact that you have the new Death Star being built and being shown here in one of the screens. You kind of have the windows to space out there in the back, the stairs, of course, in Return of the Jedi, and also just Luke's attire. But the fog scene happens in Empire Strikes Back. So I thought, oh shit. So, whatever. Still works. Gets the point across. But I definitely had fun with this. Again, I draw Darth Vader like the way that I draw Darth Vader. It may not look exactly, you know, like a one-to-one copy, but I will say it's definitely unique in my own way, and it kind of has that 2D animation of Clone Wars, my style in a way, from 20 some years back. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this one. It was so cool to do this and kind of come up with the thumbnails and the concept of this. Awesome. And then I think this is my last one. Nah, yeah, I won't. Well, let's just do this one first. This one is the most recent one for the Odd Contenders. We did a Green Lantern. You know, let's just draw a Green Lantern because the Lantern show just had its first trailer, and that show's coming out, I believe, this summer. And I know what I was trying to go for, but honestly, I think because I've been drawing so much that I'm starting to get a little bit of the artist block in me. And I mean by drawing much by like concepts, as you can see here on the left, concepts and thumbnails and preliminary sketches of what I want to do as like a final piece. I'm also doing stuff digitally. I'm also doodling in my sketchbooks to practice and stuff. So we just did this. Today is Tuesday, March 10th. We did this the Thursday a couple days ago. And this thing is just flat. Just like my Storm piece, it kind of resembles that. I don't know. I think I was just kind of burnt out a little bit from drawing, and that's when I realized it. So haven't been drawing anything other than just practicing and doodling in my sketchbook since. Just because that's when I kind of know, like, okay, I got to take a step from trying to do, you know, a regular piece. Because before I drew this, I did this, which is Spider-Man. And this is a scene from, in my own way, or my own interpretation, of Spider-Man versus the Green Goblin at the end of the first movie. And I wanted to show the Green Goblin obviously getting killed by his own, or unalived, by his glider here. And he's in the background, already gone, no longer with us. And we have Peter here all disheveled, like the mask is all torn up. We can see his eyes. We see he's a little somber. He's sad. And he's holding one of the Green Goblin helmet, just kind of thinking like, what just happened? But this is all pencil, no inks, and I feel like I did a good job. I just kind of wanted to go off on a whim. Again, these are the thumbnails or the prelim sketches I did here and one in the back, but then I just said, you know what, I'm not gonna ink it. Maybe I'll print out a cardstock and blue line or something and then ink it. But yeah, I like how this is. I like how it turned out, and I'm satisfied with it. Maybe a little bit more work on the background and these things here, but that's not the point. The point mostly is Peter looking at, your eye is supposed to have Peter looking at the Green Goblin helmet, and then the Green Goblin helmet from there goes to Green Goblin, you know, gone because of his glider, like what's depicted in the movie. So yeah. But this video is probably going to be very long, so I'm going to cut it off there. We'll call this a part 1. Part 2 will probably be a lot shorter because it's the bigger pieces that I have on 14x17 or even bigger than that. So thank you for watching. Thank you for still sticking around and hearing me yap and critique or my own artwork and kind of see what I've been doing or finalized drawings that I've been doing since I started this channel around Christmas of 2024. It's been quite the adventure, quite the growth, I should say, as well. I definitely see that I've been growing in my artwork and my storytelling in one photo or one picture, and I've been also drawing, you know, the start of my own little comic book, so I'll kind of give like a little bit of insight to that. So it's been nice to see how much I've grown since starting the channel, but also how much I've grown as far as when I got back into drawing about 3 or 4 years ago. So again, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all those cool things. You don't have to if you don't want to. Take a look at the other YouTube shorts if you're interested to kind of see the drawings over time. I like to kind of depict the drawings in pencil form, and then maybe ink form, and then color form if I've done it. Or take a look at Instagram just to see some of the digital scanned copies of this and more. But otherwise, just expect a part 2 because this one is quite long, and I promise you part 2 will be a lot shorter. So thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.